What's going on, everybody? Brian here from Brian's Broadcast. How is everyone doing? I'm doing fantastic because I'm really excited to share this beautiful fragrance review with all of you. So stay tuned, and if this fragrance review is going a bit longer, expect the length because this is a fantastic and phenomenal fragrance that I've lately tried. Now, if you're not familiar with the house of Zaharoff, let me just give you a little intro. This is a fantastic house that has got some phenomenal fragrance creations under their belt. Now, George Zaharoff, he worked with 3 fragrance collaborators, and they are YouTubers again. They worked with Zaharoff and then they created their own fragrances, and this time they have outdone themselves. Now, the first thing that was produced with collaboration from SCENTS and Zaharoff was the Siren. This was a big and huge success, and after that success comes this fragrance, the Z Creators version 2, and this one is called Of the Immortals. Let me show you the box real quick. Look at this beautiful metallic pluck over there on the top. Like, look at all the details, phenomenal details. There's a snake there, and the snake's eye has that Z logo, like the Zaharoff logo right there, like on the top. Phenomenal. Like the pluck in the front is metallic, and over here on the back you see all these people holding the trident, the arrows, and the spears and all those things. Basically, this fragrance was a concept where Andrea resembled this fragrance as ambrosia, which is again referred to as the drink of the gods. So this is definitely not for the faint of heart. Let me show you the bottle. Look at this beautiful bottle. Phenomenal stuff. Unlike the Z Creators one, the Siren, which was a 60 ml bottle, this is a 120 ml bottle, so you get more bang for your buck because you're paying a good price and you're getting a great size. That's 120 ml. It's gonna last you a long time. Look at the size difference. And again, the pluck over here in the front, this is metallic. This is definitely, it feels like aluminum, and all that machine details. Just look at this beauty. And the finishing is like satin, like very smooth. It feels like that satin finish on the metals. Beautiful. The cap, it feels almost white, has this like a pearl kind of finish to it. The color, it's just phenomenal. And as usual, you'll see the Z logo right there. And all Zaharoff bottles of late, they come in the same shape and design. Fantastic presentation, and over here it clearly says Curly Scents. I don't know if you can see it. Curly Scents X Zaharoff. Phenomenal presentation. Now guys, let me tell you quickly the notes, and then I'm going to share with you what I felt about this phenomenal fragrance. So on the top you get bergamot, honey, rum, sea salt, coffee, pure brandy. In the mids you get cashmere wood, coconut, jasmine absolute, fig, praline, tonka bean. And on the base, you get musk, sandalwood, amber, vanilla, and oud. Now, guys, what do we get when we spray this fragrance? This is like the name itself, like Of the Immortals, and this fragrance is referred to as ambrosia, which was the drink of the gods. Now, which gods are we talking about? This is the Greek mythological gods, the 12 gods and goddesses in Olympus. They used to drink ambrosia for eternity, for eternal life. I don't know, I could be wrong. I'm not too good with these things, but this is what the information is given, and that's what I kind of like figured out. This fragrance, when you spray it, now don't be imagining like it's got bergamot, experiencing some kind of freshy kind of stuff. Absolutely not, because the bergamot here has this bitterness. It has this uplifting opening, but it's not one of those, the citrusy finish or citrusy opening. It's not like that. It has the bitterness, has this uplifting feel, but not a citrus one. The honey, rum, sea salt, coffee, and pure brandy, this all like pops up together. It's extremely boozy in the opening. That's why I said of the Immortals is not for the faint of heart. This is pretty strong. It opens up very strong, a bit sharp, but immediately it settles down and the booziness is like at a whole different level. I have explained to you, I've shared with you, like there are several different types of boozy fragrances in my collection, including the Siren, which is another phenomenal boozy fragrance. But of the Immortals is at a whole different level because you see it's got pure brandy and rum in the opening. The saltiness is pretty prominent. I wouldn't say dominant, but it's prominent. It's got the sea salt, and the honey kind of gives it that kind of like a consistency, a tad bit of sweetness, but it's like a whole different thing. It's not one of that sharp honey or something that that offends your nose. It's not like that because the coffee, the brandy, and the rum drowns that honey, in my opinion, in my humble opinion, and the booziness just pops up. The coffee, however, it travels down. The booziness lives throughout the fragrance until almost like the absolute dry down, but the coffee mainly remains for a very long time. Now, as the fragrance is drying down, I was a bit surprised. Why do I say that? Because I found a similarity of this fragrance to something in my collection. It's a classic gentlemanly fragrance, and that one is none other than Givenchy's Pie. If you are familiar with this fragrance, you know when you spray this, and as this fragrance dries down, the cashmere wood, the ebony wood, all the kinds of woods you get as this fragrance dries down, there's this distinct kind of DNA in this fragrance. I found something almost similar in this one. It's a phenomenal one, let me tell you that. I'll give you that. And again, this is not a sponsored content, not a sponsored video. I bought this one with my own money. Nobody gave me a drop of this for free. No. So these are my own thoughts. I'm saying it from my own experiences. So I got a vibe of Givenchy's Pie in this fragrance, and that was only towards the mid, like around 1 or 2 hours into the mids. And this thing felt so nice. And like once you get that vibe, it lives on like an hour or two, and then it starts becoming creamy. So that Givenchy Pie vibe is gone, and then you're getting this beautiful coffee, praline, and coconut. Now the coconut gives you that kind of like a tropical vibe, but at the same time the fig and praline and tonka bean almost creates like a gourmand, beautiful, creamy vibe. But again, there's almost no sweetness to it. I mean, it kind of feels succulent, like juicy, but it's not too much. It's like just like the right kind of balance you would expect in a fragrance. The creaminess is like phenomenal. I mean, the creaminess takes a while to show up. It doesn't show up immediately, but it takes some time to show up. And the more this fragrance dries down, the better I found that the coffee and the woods, it mixes very nicely. The coconut here again kind of gives you that beautiful creamy coconut, has this tad bit of like a tropical vibe, and there's this kind of like a mysteriousness that it just keeps on growing and growing on you. As the fragrance dries down even more, I found that the sandalwood here and amber and vanilla, it just works like just like magic. Like you get all these notes. Typically, like when you're smelling a fragrance and as it dries down, it's almost nearly impossible that you get everything. But here's a little catch. The oud in here, I found out like around the dry down, like it doesn't start popping off around the dry down. The oud kind of feels pretty dominant in this one and has this animalic vibe to it, which is probably might offend you. But here's the little catch again. If you smell this fragrance, like if you spray it here on your skin and then you smell it up close as it's drying down, you're gonna get that skanky, not too skanky, but like a tad bit skanky, and like the wood is pretty sharp in this one. Like it's different. It hits different. It's not like what you get in the Siren. It's a bit different, bit animalic, but it doesn't live too long like that. The wood then becomes like really smooth as it dries down even more. But the phenomenal thing about this fragrance that I realize is that it smells so much good in the air. Like if you smell it up close, you're probably gonna be like, I'm getting that skanky, like kind of like a leathery kind of oud. But that thing will go away. Like give it half an hour or an hour, it'll go away. And then that oud mixed with this vanilla and the sandalwood, because sandalwood, again, it subdues, or it covers up the skankiness or the sharpness of oud, because oud, again, is like a subjective thing, does not react with everyone's skin in the same way. Whatever way it reacts on my skin could be definitely different with yours. So don't expect like the same reaction on your skin. So like, again, because these are limited edition, limited run fragrances, you gotta blind buy it. But if you have the option or opportunity to smell it somewhere or get a little decant or sample somewhere, first try it. Any oud based fragrance, that's a highly recommended thing that you try it first. So the sandalwood mixes with the vanilla, and the oud creates this beautiful aura. And the amberiness lives throughout the entire dry down. So that was what I got, guys. Like phenomenal and beautiful aura around you. And the performance, regarding the performance, all the days that I wore, I used like 4 to 5 sprays max. Why did I do that? Like I could have easily oversprayed it, but this thing has got, as per the website, this is like a 20% concentration of EDP. It's not an extrait, but this is 20% concentration of oil, so it's pretty high. And I wanted to find out, like, if it lasts, does it live throughout the day? Yes, it does. With that 4 to 5 sprays, all the days that I've tried this thing has given me more than 8 to 10 hours of longevity. Again, it's cold in New York City, it's just getting colder every day, and this thing just lived through. Like hardly did I come across anybody who did not like this. Of course, this is really dark. Again, this fragrance is, again, like I said, it's not for the faint of heart. It's pretty dark, it's mysterious, has a lot of facets, has a lot of nuances. But again, maybe if you do get offended, I'm safely assuming it's because of the oud, which kind of has that like a leathery, dry, leathery kind of oud, has a tad bit of animalic vibe to it. That's something you might get offended. But again, like I said, you get that only if you smell it right off your skin, like you really dig your nose and then you do that. That's when you'll get it. Otherwise, in the air, I never caught that whiff. That was the best part. And the dry down is absolutely heavenly. Totally loved it. Again, there are a lot of gourmand notes here. I wouldn't say this fragrance is absolutely gourmand like some of you may have experienced, but I wouldn't say it's totally gourmand, because how this one comes through, like the woodiness over here sorry about that, the woodiness over here is not a gourmand one, and that's exactly what I found out on this one. Yes, there are gourmand nuances, gourmand facets to it, but I wouldn't say this is absolutely gourmand. That's just my opinion. Yours could be different, your whole experience is different. So guys, that was my take of the Immortals, a new release from the Z Creators line of fragrances from Zaharoff and Mr. George Zaharoff. Again, you have struck the right chords with this fragrance. So guys, thank you for staying on my channel and watching this video. Make sure you hit the thumbs up button and make sure you're subscribed to this channel, because more fragrance reviews are coming up very soon. Thank you guys, you've been a great audience. So until the next video, please take care, stay safe, and all the best.